Welcome back to Let's Make a Game, a channel about making computer role-playing games using the free program Twine and the SugarCube format for Twine. In this video, I would like to continue my series on adapting the fighting fantasy rules to a Twine game, using the Sword and Planet subgenre of science fiction to inspire the plot and setting. Before I do that, however, I'd like to address a comment that I got on one of my videos recently. User Talon3932 made a comment which echoed sentiments that I've had a few times already, saying that the volume on my videos is too low. If you've noticed this, I've noticed it too. I am actually aware of the problem. Unfortunately, I'm using a very basic setup, and I've tried to look into how to make the volume louder without sort of increasing the rendering time and work time by orders of magnitude. But unfortunately, I haven't found anything in that research. So I've sort of just been stuck with it as it is, even though I am aware that, this is an ongoing problem. In this video, I'm using a microphone that I haven't used to record one of these videos before. So I'd be interested to know if people notice any difference if this is louder, or of course that this microphone might make it worse. It might make it softer. But either way, and also if you notice any difference in the sound quality, if you could let me know in a comment. I'll also do a post which will go out to all of the subscribers. So I am aware of the problem. I'm just sort of limited in what I can do to fix it, unfortunately. Anyway, what I want to talk about today is one of the things that I've recently added to the code, which is branching based on character. If you've been following this series, you'll probably remember that it begins with this set of options. The player has to pick one of these, or you can click this one to choose randomly, and each one of them has a little bit of, flavor text, description of the character and how they came to this planet, which is the main setting. And there's also an advantage and a disadvantage for each character. So this particular character has a advantage in their stats, a mechanical advantage. It says you roll an extra die to add to your stamina. But then their disadvantage just says you are inexperienced in dealing with people who want to take advantage of you. So there's no score that is changed by that. So that, if that's going to be a thing that actually affects the game, which is my intention, that needs to happen in the sections of the game, and therefore we need a code that says that does something different based on which character the player has chosen, and that's what I've done. And what I want to demonstrate today. So let's continue with this one. We have the beginning here. We go to the new planet. We see this species of sort of ape-like creatures with whom we might spend some time. We reveal ourselves, perhaps. We might want to take part in this combat that they're sort of hinting that we should take part in. Perhaps we won't do that for very long. In that particular case, we got kicked out, so we can't see the thing I wanted to show you. But let's maybe keep fighting a couple more rounds and see what happens. Okay, so we get to this bit where it says you're shown to a place by the fire. You're not sure if they think you're an adult, a child, an animal, or something else, but they seem to accept that you can stay. And then it says, frightened and uncomfortable, you lie awake through the long night. Skill -2. Now, if you chose a different character, this person who is sort of motivated by wanting money and tricked by a scientist into testing out their machine, essentially. Their disadvantage is mechanical. They start with a luck of 6, but their advantage is a sort of story advantage. It's one that isn't a score. You are experienced in surviving on the streets. And if you choose that character and go through the same process, in this case we didn't have to fight the monster, but we get the same text here, shown to place by the fire. Not sure if they think you're an adult, a child, an animal or something else, but they seem to accept that you can stay. Then it says something different. It says that you don't exactly feel safe, but you have slept in less comfortable circumstances. So, and we notice that our skill doesn't go down. So because of the fact that we've perhaps slept rough in the past or something like that, we're sort of used to making the best of an uncomfortable and frightening situation and kind of, okay, well, I better get some sleep sort of thing. And so you don't suffer the advantage of you don't suffer the disadvantage of lack of sleep, which the other characters will suffer. And of course, that requires that the program be able to branch based on character. So let's have a look at the code that allows that to happen. So once again, we're going to be looking at initialize and main. So to remind you, we store which character the player has chosen in the variable $CH, which of course stands for character. And it starts at a random number from 1 to 4, which because there are 4 different options. And then if we choose a specific character, that will change CH. But if we choose the random one, well, that will just keep it at this initial random value. So branching based on character pretty much means branching based on CH. So after the $S array, which is the sort of main array where all the sections are, certainly the longest array, the biggest, most complicated array in the game, we have a list of the different types of section down here. And the one we want is 16. 15 is a new one as well, but I'm going to put that in a separate video. So 16 is branching based on character, and it simply says go to $S square bracket $A end square bracket $CH plus 1. So why are those the particular values? Well, $A is the paragraph or section where you currently are. $CH is your character, but slot 0 of every section is the text or a note that there's no text. Slot 1 has the number currently from 1 to 16, which tells the program what type of section is this. What's happening here? Are we testing our luck? Are we giving the player a choice? Are we going into combat? Are we rolling a die? Etc. etc. So we need slot 0 for the text. We need slot 1 for just the number 16 to tell them that it's this one. And so because CH is a number from 1 to 4, we want to use slots 2 to 5 for the destinations for each value, each possible value of CH. So in other words, if $CH is 1, we go to whatever's written in slot 2. If CH is 2, we go to whatever's in slot 3, and then so on for the next 2. So as an example, in fact, currently the only example, but of course there have to be more because we have to have branches that embody the different things that we say about these characters. So if you remember when we looked at the person who grew up on a farm, It says that you are often naive about strangers that might want to take advantage of you, and I have a place planned where that can happen, and so therefore we'll need another one of these branchings for that, or possibly more than one, and then of course we need at least one for the other two characters, and we probably want to embody their advantage and their disadvantage. So unless it's a mechanical one, and out of the 8 advantages, or the 4 advantages and 4 disadvantages, 2 of them are mechanical. So we need sort of at least 6 to barely cover the promise that we made that these characters will be different. The fact that one of them's naive and the other one can sleep wherever he needs to, and the other one can has problems keeping their mouth shut but is good with technology, etc. But at the moment, because we're just at the beginning of the project, and it's quite a large project, we only have one. So here we go. Here it is. It's fairly straightforward. No text. 16, and then we have 1R, 1R1, 1R1, 1R1. So if $CH is 1, go to 1R. If it's 1R1, go to 1R. Sorry, if it's 2, go to 1R1. 3 or 4, go to 1R1. That's actually not the one I wanted to show you. This is the one that this is the one where you get your 2 skill back if you've lost it. Because I didn't intend it to be that you lost 2 skill for the entire game, but only for like a day of time within the fiction of the game. So just to simulate the fact that you're sort of bleary-eyed and frightened and disoriented or whatever, you lose 2 skill. But then of course to do that we need to give them the 2 skill back. So that's the one where we give them the skill back. But I'll try and find the one where we take it away. Here it is. Sorry about that. So we have the text, we have 16, and then we have 1F1, 1F2, 1F2, 1F2. So if $CH is 1, we go to 1F1, which tells us you don't exactly feel safe, but you have slept in less comfortable circumstances, and then goes to 1F3. And 1F2, which is the one that everyone goes to except for that character number 1, it says frightened and uncomfortable, you lie awake during the long night. And then we have 10, which is a change to attributes. So that tells us it's a change to attributes. The 1 tells us that the attribute that's going to be changed is skill. The next slot, -2, tells us that the change is lowering the value by 2. And then we go to 1F3. So we end up at the same place, but the characters other than character 1 will lose 2 skill along the way, and then later on we'll see the one that we saw first, where they get their skill back because they're assumed to sort of have become used to sleeping on the ground. So that is how that works. Fairly simple, but fairly vital if we want to make these descriptions of the character actually have a possible story effect. And of course doing that tends perhaps to add a little bit of replayability, because if the person gets through with character number 1, they might find that if they replayed it again with character number 3, they might find that the same decisions wouldn't have the same results. So it encourages the player to sort of try out the different characters and see what they can find. So that is all I will talk about. As I briefly noted, I have added another bit of code where you can change the amount of money you have. It starts just at 0, but you can gain money, and later on in the game you will be given the option to spend it, possibly lose it, and so on. But I will leave that for later so that the videos don't get too long. I know that I made some quite long videos, and I've been trying to sort of cut the time down instead of having one long video, have sort of several shorter ones. So I hope that was useful or interesting to at least some of you, and I hope you'll tune in next time.